Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Game Boy Color, as I promised yesterday. And yeah, you can see a lot of smudges. I did actually clean the screen, ironically enough, before recording this, so I'll have to try and do that again after I'm done with this video. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the unit itself before I actually do a gameplay demonstration of any of the games that I have. Right over here. In terms of overall structure, like its size, especially compared to the original Game Boy, it's definitely a lot more slimmed down, you know what I mean? Like, it's easier to hold. It's easier to record on camera, I'd imagine, for most people. It's definitely an upgrade, and I mean that more than just the scaled down size. Yeah, the Game Boy Color isn't just a Game Boy button color, but it also actually has a slightly more powerful CPU, which is actually really interesting. And some games, I think it was mostly those black cartridge games, as opposed to games made specifically for the Game Boy Color. I might have that slightly backwards, I can't remember. Actually had exclusive content. An example that always immediately springs to mind, like the very first example that springs to mind, is, of all games, Earthworm Jim Menace to the Galaxy. I'm not even kidding, because, like, if you play that game on the original Game Boy, you fight Evil Jim as the final boss, that's it, game over. However, if you put the black cartridge in the Game Boy Color, you unlock the exclusive level Happiness. That is the only way to access that level natively. It's pretty cool. But anyway, with that out of the way, I think we're going to play maybe 2 games. I don't want to make this video too lengthy, obviously, although I want to mention this in passing real quick because it's so cool. I do have Metal Gear Ghost Babel, and believe you me, if you know anything about that game, it was not easy to track down at all. It's very pricey. I think I'm going to choose Hubert, which was, if I remember correctly, the very first video game that Jake Kaufman ever composed for, and Trip World DX. I know a lot of people already saw my Trip World DX review, but the reason why I'm choosing these 2 games specifically is because they're very simplistic, and thus the gameplay of each of them won't be too long. But I will say this, I'm going to start with Hubert, and I'm going to end the video with Trip World DX. So, I just thought I'd point that out. I'm going to be able to commentate on how I feel like the Game Boy Color controls while I play Hubert. And then I'll shut up when I play Trip World DX. First of all, yes, it's never custom Game Boy Color. Or no, never custom Game Boy in general. This one obviously has a backlit screen mod, and it also has, as you'd expect, a rechargeable battery mod, and the rechargeable battery mod's port is right there. That's so cool because no one ever uses that for anything else ever. I forget what that's actually meant to be for, like its original intended purpose. Oh. Hold on. Hold on, I have to fix that. Not entirely sure what that was all about. There we go. Yeah, it was one of those arcade games during that brief period of time back in the 90s where, oh, we're porting these old classic arcade games that had no story over to handhelds or consoles or whatever. Frogger did it, Hubert did it, Space Invaders did it. So we're going to have a story or adventure mode. It was a very interesting time, but I'm going to go for arcade mode. And also, yeah, it's pretty cool how you can choose which kind of control scheme you want. I'm going to go with standard. The tip with Coily, he's very persistent. You can have him basically jump off the edge. I believe that was Sphere that killed me instantly. No, I believe that was a power-up that freezes time temporarily. I think that's in the original arcade game. I haven't played Q*bert, like the original arcade game, in so long, dude. No! What? Came right out of nowhere. Also, while I'm playing this, I thought I'd mention Q*bert does have a Game Boy port, but because it was on the original Game Boy... crap. Because it was on the original Game Boy, you know, the Game Boy didn't have any color scheme, obviously. What they did was they actually gave each level its unique pattern. They gave each level its unique pattern for the cubes, you know, because, like I said, the original Game Boy lacked any color. And I always thought that was pretty clever. I don't have that one as of right now. I am still trying to find a copy of it. I apologize if I'm doing pretty bad. I'm partially colorblind, so... Screw you. I'm partially colorblind, so it's hard to tell when I actually have them changed to their desired color. But yeah, with the Game Boy... Oh, I actually won. With the Game Boy port, that's what they did. No! No! Do I have any more continues left? Yes, I do. And I always thought that was pretty cool. I'm, again, still trying to track it down, like on eBay or whatever. Actually, speaking of Q*bert, anyone remember Saturday Supercade? Where it was basically an anthology series and one of the segments was Q*bert. They had like a Q*bert cartoon. Anyone remember that? Just wanted to mention that. Curse your existence. I just wanted to mention that real quick because I've actually watched a few... Are you kidding me? I've actually watched a few episodes of the Q*bert cartoon that have been uploaded onto YouTube. Thank you. It's a cartoon from the 80s, and it really shows, but it's fine. I think it's fine. They relied on using a lot of Q puns, which was kind of odd, but I guess it made sense, given that the character is named Q*bert. But yeah, it was kind of odd. But hey, you know, the 80s was kind of odd in general, you know what I mean? That's the whole stereotype of the decade. Also, apparently, some of the characters are voiced by Billy West, which is pretty cool. That dude is very, very talented. Ah! Again, it's kind of hard to tell. Supposed to be like a slightly darker shade of blue is what I'm trying to go for here, I guess. Wait for it. Go! I'll clear one more level and then I'll move on to Trip World DX to wrap up the video. Because I'm pretty sure, you know, a side-scrolling platformer is a lot more engaging and entertaining than an arcade game with no music going on in the background. You know what I mean? I think that'll satisfy everyone watching the video. Wait for it. He he's such an idiot. Like, that's his thing, is that he's a persistent idiot, and you can basically trick him to jump off the edge. No, where I could fall off the edge. No. If I lose, I don't care. It's fine. Yeah, I lost. Anyway, moving on to Trip World DX. Like I said, you guys already saw me play this game. Oh, hold on. Wouldn't turn on for a minute. You already saw me play this game, but I figured that something simplistic and not as complex as, say, Metal Gear Solid would be a pretty good idea for a brief showcase video like I did it yesterday. You know what I mean? What I plan on doing is playing progressively more complex games as we progress throughout the series. I feel like that's pretty fitting. And speaking of progressing throughout this series, I don't even have to tell you what tomorrow's video is. You guys already know what handheld I'm covering tomorrow, and I'm very excited. Did you know that if you press the select button on the title screen, you pull up a menu? Love the environments, like the attention to detail of like the clouds scrolling by. I'm not sure if that's a form of parallax scrolling, but that's pretty cool either way. Also, here's the literal flower power. No. Don't want to waste it. No, stop it. Not sure what those are. Ferrets? The red flowers give you health, which I thought that was pretty cool. Watch out for the evil blue hedgehogs. I wonder if that's a reference to Sonic. I wonder if Sunsoft has a rivalry with Sega or something. Turn into my underwater form. I think it's supposed to be a dolphin or something. It controls kind of clunkily when trying to repeatedly mash the button to swim. I also really like the whole transformation concept in general. It's pretty cool. Oh, hold on, I got an idea. Speaking of the transformation mechanic. Just fly over all of that and take no damage. The whole button mashing thing to fly can also kind of be a little bit clunky. It's a bit strange. Like, for me at least, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. I don't know why exactly, but that seems to be the case for me specifically. Alright, giant ferret dude, let's go. I don't actually know what it's supposed to be. I'm trying to corner him so I can continuously attack him. There we go. I'm gonna do a little bit of level 2 and then I'll close out the video. This is basically Ball Kirby. Like, it reminds me a lot of that. Ooh, those things are creepy. What are you? have no idea why this guy's following me. By the way, I know that I closed the Game Boy video by not talking a lot when I was playing Baseball 2000, so a lot of people are probably going to say that I'm being hypocritical or whatever by talking here, but considering that this is a platformer, I feel like it's kind of, you know, a lot more necessary, you know what I mean? Hey, what even are you? I can't tell what that guy's supposed to be, like a flower or something. But yeah, I'll try not to talk that much during this end segment. I have to comment real quick. This music is beautiful. That's all I really wanted to say real quick. All right, I'll stop things there because I said I wasn't going to beat the entire level. In closing, I'd say the Game Boy Color is just as iconic as the original Game Boy, if not more so, honestly. Like, I've actually talked to a lot of people in passing and in my Discord community and whatnot, and I've actually talked to a lot more people who grew up playing games on the Game Boy Color than on the original Game Boy. And in a sense, I can kind of see why, because there were, in my opinion, I'm not saying that this is fact, a lot more iconic games on the Game Boy Color than on the original Game Boy. Maybe, like I said, that's just me. But yeah. Like I said, I'm very excited for tomorrow because we all know what's coming out tomorrow. So with that being said, this is Sir Bop-A-Lot, signing out.